Her shoes are on her thing. This is a 5-pounder.
Little bird.
So all the purges in the bottom.
Where's your shoes?
On her changing table. Daddy? Come on. All right, let's do it. So we just got it out of the bag. Again, Chris and I keep the not so pretty ones so you all can have the really pretty ones. And all we mean by that is most of the time it's when we're plucking them, like getting all the feathers off. Sometimes the equipment that helps pluck them is just a little too rough and it'll like nick the skin, like how the skin's broke there. There's nothing wrong with this. We just don't want you all to have those ones. So we keep those for ourselves. But I start by separating. You saw I pulled away the drum and thigh, and it's still attached by the skin. But we start by just cutting that down. And I think I've said this before, but you just have to feel around, feel for the bones and where they are. So from up here where I cut that skin initially down to here, there's a bone right here. So I'm gonna cut on the left side of that bone. All right. Now as I pull that away, we'll start to see the joint that's connecting the drum and thigh to the whole chicken. To the whole bird. Right here. And actually when I just pulled that away, you see it came off completely. That is great. So now I'm just gonna take my knife and I'm gonna cut around here and that's gonna pull that whole thing off. And for what I'm making tonight, I only need the breast and the tenders. So I'm gonna bag up the rest of this bird and it's thawed out and I can cook it for dinner or lunch or another thing for the week. All right, awesome. Keep the skin or not, I will likely take it off. You can make things like similar to a pork rind, but put it in your air fryer, chicken skin, and it makes it nice and crispy, kind of like a chip. And so you can just cut the skin off with a knife. I'm just gonna lay this to the side just so we can get through this video together. Okay. All right, now this side. So I've cut this side off and now I'm gonna work on this side. And you see the separation there? I'm gonna try to turn the bird. See the separation? It was up here like this. I pulled it down. I'm gonna cut this skin. All right. And then again, feel around. There's a bone right here. A bone right here. And so I'm gonna cut on the side of that. Okay, and then again, I need to find the joint that's down in this area. I'm just gonna pull. Pull, pull, pull. All right, I can see it in there. It just snapped a little right here. You see that there? I think you can. All right, so now I know I need to cut up in this angle. So that joint helped me find that spot, because if I would have cut up higher, I was gonna get into good meat. All right, so I'm gonna continue to just work on that spot. So really just seeing where the joints are when you're pulling them apart. Becoming more familiar with this is gonna just help you learn how to cut down your whole bird a lot easier. You'll get better at it every time. I still mess up when I'm doing this. And there's another drum guy. That one looks really good. Again, you leave the skin on, you take the skin off. Okay. gonna go ahead and try to get some of this skin off. The meal I'm making tonight, I don't need chicken skin on the meat. Chicken skin, cutting that off, I just pick it up and pull away. Because it can be a little, like, you may accidentally cut into like the meat, which is fine. I mean, guys, this is for you and your family, you know. If this is a restaurant who's buying this, y'all already know how to cut up a whole bird. And if not, you're all right. Watch this video. No one's perfect. I need to figure out if there's a better angle to show the breast. All right, so you see I was working on that skin there. I'm gonna go ahead and cut the skin off so I can see. Cutting up this way is my weaker point because of the joint of where the wing and the breast meet. But we'll figure it out. Usually I cut into the tip or like the drum part of a breast. And some people don't realize like what parts of the chicken look like and everything, but y'all, this will be, it'll blow your mind when you're about to see how the breast is attached to the wing and how it's attached to the chicken tenders. It's good to know this stuff about your food. Okay, so we're cutting up. Let me see if I can get a little closer. We're cutting up this whole bird. First off, look at the color of this meat. It looks amazing, amazing. This is a bigger bird, so this will actually be great to show you all the size of the breast when we cut. This whole line here, there's some hard cartilage in there. We're gonna cut up each side of it so it'll leave the cartilage and bone piece here in the middle. Make sure you're using a sharp knife. The last thing you need is to be cutting yourself because your knife isn't sharp enough for this. All right, and I feel a little piece of that cartilage actually cut into it. So that's okay. I just need to remember that. So before I'm cooking with this, I can cut it out. All right. All right, I'm cutting up the middle here. All right. So I'm already starting to feel that divide of where the breast is. Perfect. Okay. So really how I do this is I make my cut here and then I start to scoop at an angle. So I cut straight like this and then I start to scoop it that way. So that's how it's attached. Under here are the ribs, right? I see the chicken tender. Okay, and I went down and I felt the bone, so I know I can stop there and start to cut over. I'm just gonna pull a little bit and see where I'm at. So I cut into that breast meat a little bit up there. Let me see where the wing is. Yep, okay. We're doing all right, we're doing all right. See, I'm just feeling around. Okay. So the center where I started, it's now opening up and coming down here. All right, so this is where the breast just was. I left some meat there. Yeah, this is also a good point of why you should keep your carcass and you can cook it up and do broth with it. But here, that's the wing, that's this joint here. So just look around here. I need to figure out where I'm gonna make my cut so I don't ruin that meat. So what I'm gonna do is, that is the wing right here in the middle. I'm gonna cut right here, right along here. So breast, that's that wing piece. This is the carcass we just did. I'm cutting along this area. So I can save when you think of chicken wings and there's drums and flats, that's the drum that we're cutting around so that we don't cut into it. And that's what I usually do. I cut into the whole drum and then I don't have a drum. I don't know if what I just said made sense, but that's the breast. This looks huge, right? Well, on the inside, this is the chicken tender. So naturally it's kind of already separated from the breast. So I'm just gonna cut that out. I just cut a piece of my breast by accident alongside it. I'm still working with, my chicken's still a little frozen. But I thought it was all the way thawed out. So I'm struggling with separating this a little. But I have to chop up my chicken anyway. So that's a chicken tender. So chicken tender, again, it's a little frozen. That's why it looks tough right there. This is a part of the breast I just cut out. But so, okay, so this is a chicken breast for a 5-pound bird. All right, for a 5-pound bird. The color looks amazing. The smell is great. The meat, it just, I mean, it can't beat that. It's not watered down. And I'm gonna end up cutting this up for my meal into chopped pieces. So I'm not gonna worry about thin slicing it, but a lot of times when I'm cooking chicken breasts, I'll slice down the middle of the breast just so it cooks a lot faster. I usually don't have that much time. All right, so same thing here. The cartilage piece is off to the side a little. All right, so yep, I'm on that side of it. All right, I'm pushing down, or I'm cutting down. And then when I start to feel bone, like that means I'm at the ribs, and I'm gonna start going to the side. So remember, we go down to the side, kind of like a C in a way. Down to the side, or a backwards J, I think is a better way to describe that. All right, cool. I see where I'm at here. Great. I can hear PJ and Chris in the garage. All right, I'm already at where the wing is. I'm just gonna cut the bottom here. All right, so this is an example during our butcher here. This is not from the life of the bird. This doesn't happen while the bird's alive, this blood clot here. That occurred in the butchering process. So that was a part of that plucker. It went a little too cray-cray when we were plucking the chicken and got it in the top of the wing. And that was, again, already after the bird is gone. So no harm to our birdie. But you can cut that out. It's okay to eat it. Again, you see the breast, and then it separates on its own. That's a chicken tender. I'm gonna cut mine out. Now that's a pretty big breast right here. Yeah, so if I was frying this up, I would cut it in half so the chicken tender was laying in here. These breasts, oh my gosh, they're so good. Y'all, I tell ya, I am just never going back to store-bought chicken. It does taste different. I'm just gonna say it. I worked for a free-range chicken company. That tasted different in a good way. And now that we're doing pasture-raised, definitely not going back. All right, so I just started cutting here. I'm gonna use my scissors on this. Pretty big blood clot there. All right, let me get rid of this and we'll come back. Right at that bone. All right, so that's a chicken wing. All right, so when you all go to the Super Bowl or whatever, you have drums and flats. Okay, so that's your wing. This is the drum, or this is the drum, this is the flat. I never knew this until I worked at a chicken company, how this worked. A lot of times on the drum and flats, you can feel that joint, so it makes it easier to cut. I usually cook them together and then I separate them. Had trouble finding it there, so I just broke it right where it was. All right. So that's a drum. That's a flat. That just looks so good. I don't even want to cut it.